Welcome back, Potter fans, to the Show of Requirement, a Harry Potter podcast put on by the Gazebo Effect Network, which I, for some reason, never really realized, or it's not clicked that I'm a part of that now. I know I'm a part of this podcast, but the network feels like a bigger thing.
It's a family.
It is.
It's a family of 4 podcasts now.
It's a lot of podcasts.
So, yeah.
I'm your host, Abby Tooley, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Spencer Price and Cole Harris. David will be joining us later on as we go, so if you randomly hear him pop in, it's because he operated into the podcast.
Correct.
But tonight we're continuing our Rewatch series of Harry Potter, and we are going to be doing Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which, I don't know about you guys, but I always get excited to watch this movie, especially now that we're into September. It's not quite fall yet, but it just feels like the time of year where it hits really nicely.
Mm-hmm. Just my first note was that I've decided that Prisoner of Azkaban is the pinnacle spooky Harry Potter film.
It is.
It's won the race, I think. I don't think it's beatable. It's not just Chamber of Secrets is spooky, but still had daytime scenes and Chris Columbus and all these things.
The whole
and color, and this is
blue and kind of darker and more fall.
And then they brought a little more color back in Goblet of Fire, and then David Yates just made black and white films the rest of the time.
Basically.
But
anyways, I want to know your initial thoughts before rewatching it. How often do you guys rewatch this one in general? I find that I watch it at least a few times a year because I just enjoy it.
Cole?
Yeah, I rewatch this one about the same as you, Abby. A couple of times a year. It's a good rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same problem with this movie as the book. I have no problems with the book or movie, actually. Just that I don't jump into them enough. It's Goblet of Fire has this even worse. But whenever you reread the series, this is I usually don't get past Chamber of Secrets. And so I don't get to Prisoner of Azkaban unless I outright skip Chamber of Secrets, which I definitely did on my third read through. My fourth read through was the one for this podcast. So goodness gracious, I've read this series so many times. But for the movie, it's kind of the same thing where I don't really pull it out of the stack, as it were. I do that for whatever reason. I arbitrarily do that for the last 3, specifically the Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows Part 1, because I really like those, but I don't really do that with the other ones as much.
Mm-hmm. So. That's fair. I think I most often tend to rewatch Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban, and Deathly Hallows. Both of them, because I can't just watch one and not the other. So it's I'm committing to 2 movies at that point. If I'm gonna watch it, I'm committing to both of them.
Yeah, and I can't I can pick up Half-Blood Prince by itself, but I can't pick up Order of the Phoenix by itself. In fact, the only way I can enjoy Order of the Phoenix is if I watch Half-Blood Prince shortly afterward.
Yep. Well, what are your overall thoughts on the film?
It's so good.
I know.
It's kind of one of those I don't want to say Lord of the Rings, because I'm sure someone could mess up Lord of the Rings, but it's such a good book, and it is very filmable. I feel like it has a lot of elements, has some tough elements to film, I'm sure. I'm not saying it was without challenges, but the story was so good that it was kind of hard to miss, as long as you found the right director and everything. Cole will find this a fun fact. I don't have a lot of trivia to give today, but the first person they asked to direct this film was Guillermo. Goodness, I can't say that way.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. They asked him to do this, and then he said, "No, I'm going to do Hellboy instead."
Oh, not Hellboy.
Are you ready for this? A classic, Cole. Hellboy's a good movie. And then he did Pan's Labyrinth. and he got all that Pan's Labyrinth money, and everyone was pretty much they were pretty much like, make whatever you want. You know what he did, Cole?
Pinocchio.
Hellboy 2. And when he did Hellboy, chose to do Hellboy 2, he actually turned down the Half-Blood Prince.
Hey, when
Mm.
you've got a
Apparently, they're
dream,
gonna.
you've got a
before
dream
they
for
went-
a Hellboy franchise.
But anyway, they went back to Yates instead, and I think. But it's interesting that they considered going with another new director at that point. Fun fact of the day: there's a new Hellboy movie coming out. By the way, I have not seen it.
Again?
It's supposed to be like, well, this one's supposed to be more like typical Hellboy comics. He's a little like John Constantine and Jack Reacher.
Mm-hmm.
More Jack Reacher. Like he goes to a town and there's some demonic presence or something, and he has to go look into it and maybe break some legs or whatever. Like most Hellboy comics are not very huge scale. But then the Del Toro movies were so big that the 2019 movie felt they had to do the same. So anyway, this movie might be fun. It might not be, but it's small scale, small budget.
Yes.
But coming out in theaters and stuff, it should be. It's based off the second most famous Hellboy comic, or the number one Hellboy comic. So
I think Hellboy was one of the movies that my dad showed me probably way too early in life. It was like one of those judgment things where I look back on it like, I don't know.
yeah, very spooky time stuff.
Yeah. Something I noticed immediately when this film started, not Hellboy, but Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the kids are in their like top tier like growing spurt. Like they are like from the first film to the second film to the third film. The differences in how they look and like the voice changes, wild.
I wrote
Well,
that
the voice change in Chamber of Secrets was more.
Oh yeah,
was larger, but they definitely got taller. You know, the more I think about it, I think they were taller in some scenes than other scenes.
probably. Yeah.
The biggest miracle of this whole movie series is that they hid all of the puberty, acne, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they've said that
good makeup
behind the scenes. This also
They're wizards. They don't need to worry about acne.
the other reason, and this might be the best Harry Potter movie. The more I talk about it, but this is the best Harry Potter hair. They perfected it, and
I think the hair's really
Jennifer Aniston Friends style. They immediately abandoned it again.
Yep.
They made this iconic hairstyle that's like right from the books, and then they went, let's do mullets.
I think Harry's hair was perfect. That's how I always pictured it.
It is perfect, unkempt, a little bit anime character, but not too much.
Yep, it was great. Things.
Ron's hair was not good though.
That's
in this
true.
one,
No, it wasn't
was not
great.
doing him any favors. It was bad in this one,
Also,
like really bad.
Draco's hair, not great.
Just not great. Yeah,
No.
Like a kind of a bowl cut, but it's like a
it's
trendy
always
bowl cut.
it's always been too dyed. I almost think they could have just let him keep the dirty blondish hair that he kind of already had. But
I like it.
you
I
can't
don't
make
know.
it natural looking. It
I don't think
never
it's
looked
supposed to
that
look
natural.
I think their whole family is supposed to look a little like.
Yeah, he almost
They're
looks like
supposed to look pure.
and it just goes more and more platinum with the color palette of the movies too.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all right.
Some things to note: we get a lot of new characters in this movie. You get obviously Sirius Black. You get the infamous Remus Lupin. You get Sybil Trelawney. You get who am I forgetting?
Oh, someone's apparating in.
Da, 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 da. David! He popped right in, and the apparating crack and everything.
Crack. Or sorry, the movie sound effect.
See, and here's the thing. All I heard was apparating and then crack. So that's not a pleasant image. But I'm happy to be here.
Infamous Remus Lupin, Abby?
I love Remus.
I would say Sirius Black is infamous, and Lupin is just great.
I mean, however you want to take it, they're both fantastic. And we get Gary Oldman. I love Gary Oldman. He's such a good actor that you forget it's Gary Oldman.
Yes.
I think that's the mark of a truly good actor is when you forget who it is.
And there was something Gary Oldman talked to some people about Harry Potter today, but I want to keep that. I'm going to save that for next week for the yearly prophet because I don't want to get off topic too much.
Yep.
But yes, we love Gary Oldman in this
because we like good actors like Emma Watson.
Yeah,
No.
and David Thewlis and Gary Oldman are in like literally one shot together. It feels like.
Yeah.
Like really not
Not very
much.
well.
And other than the awkward hug, everything else they seamlessly work well together.
Yeah, we also get Peter in this one. Peter Pettigrew. We're talking about
Yeah.
the new characters you get introduced to, David, in this one. There are quite a few.
Okay, good. Because I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I feel
I was
like
asking about overall thoughts of the film. Really fast, do you want to give us your overall thoughts?
Just the fact that this is probably, I think it was a great, well, okay, this may be a hot take. I think this was a great introductory film for Michael Gambon, just in terms of getting into the character itself. It may feel a little bit intense, probably not as intense as Goblet of Fire, but it may feel for some people just like a complete miss. I actually had a clip that I was going to share with everyone about something that I saw on TikTok. I'll try and find it, and maybe we can come back to it here later, just because I think it's going to infuriate probably Spencer the most.
well, I was gonna say,
'cause it made
David,
me
there are no hot takes with Michael Gambon because he gets so much hate
Yeah,
from the general
it's
fan
actually
base.
not hate against Michael Gambon as much.
I think this is maybe his second or third best Dumbledore appearance. He's not
Yeah.
really in this one very much.
Not
And
really.
he isn't very aggressive or over the top. He's just kind of, other than his little speech about the Dementors, he's just a little whimsical Dumbledore, and he's like closing the door, good luck,
Yeah.
and he's pointing out all the cliffs and stuff and being all whimsical. I think he does a good job, especially for someone jumping in such a weird middle spot.
Absolutely.
And then he kind of goes off course for a bit, and then Half-Blood Prince, he comes back in full swing. Really finds his groove right at that point. But I did get a tinge of sadness when I saw him.
Yeah.
Oh, and he does the quote, like the Dumbledore quote. I think people think that Richard Harris says this quote, but it's Gambon. Happiness can be found in the darkest of time. If only one remembers to turn on the light.
Yeah.
Alfonso knew what he was doing.
He did a good job.
He did, and I think he did a better job than Del Toro, actually.
What were some things that you all really enjoyed about this movie?
John Williams.
I was going to say immediately the score was what popped into my mind.
John Williams. This may be my favorite John Williams score. That might be a hot take.
Like ever?
Yeah, I think so. Because he does all the Harry Potter stuff. So like he's got check marks there. So
Gotcha.
like I could say, well, I know David's Star Wars and up over there, but but I like his Harry Potter music more than his Star Wars music already. So I think it is my favorite one of John Williams's. I like his Harry Potter work the most, and in that, I think there's some specific themes that I could say that is better, but I don't. As for an overall score, start to finish, the whole thing.
Someone else can go.
Things
I'm
you
just
enjoyed
gonna
about the movie?
just gonna rest with that for a second.
I specific to name a specific John Williams tune, the whimsical march song, whatever it's called, to Aunt Marge taking flight.
Oh yeah.
Really great stuff. I'll just keep going through my notes. The Lumos Maxima ticks me off so much. And literally, as he's coming down the stairs to leave, he points the wand at Dursley, and Vernon goes, "You aren't allowed to do magic outside of school." And I'm like, Steve Close, Alfonso, I don't know whose fault this is. I'm like, literally, the first minute of the film,
He was doing magic outside of school.
he was doing a magic outside of school. Chambers of Secrets actually snuck it in too, and I don't know if I called them out on that or not. But Hermione just goes, "Reparo," in the middle of Diagon Alley, and I'm like, it's a.
I thought it had to be in the presence of a Muggle.
No, it's just out of Hogwarts in general. The part about being in the presence of the Muggle just made it like worse. It was like Fudge trying to add insult to injury in the court case, because Harry got in trouble in Chamber of Secrets for something Dobby did in the same house, and he didn't even cast the spell himself. So maybe that's how Hermione got away with it in Diagon Alley. It's because there's wizards everywhere. But like, I don't know. There's a little note. Harry's trudging down the street with his trunk. He's all grumpy and stuff. And you can see just tiny Aunt Marge in the sky going,
I know, and her like
Just
screaming.
going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never noticed that before.
Really?
I was dying.
They didn't have the extended editions on Peacock this time.
Peacock
I
disappeared.
know,
Yeah.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
Also, Stan Shunpike, pretty good actor for that character.
Yeah.
I did not feel that
Almost exactly
at all.
word for word.
Really?
No, I was like, they really could have gotten someone better for this. Just because, because again, this is the Stan Shunpike who Harry's just like, oh, I don't believe that he would be a Death Eater. I looked at this guy and I said, he definitely can be a Death Eater, like 100%.
But I feel like
What?
Harry felt that way about Stan, but no one else did.
Okay, we
Like,
don't want
I
to start
feel like-
stereotyping Death Eaters. Okay.
I'm
What
just
does it
I feel
look
saying,
like
like,
other
David?
characters.
those pimples
I feel like
were
Ron.
those pimples were really. I mean, they screamed Death Eaters to me, especially if you popped them.
Gross.
I think
Yeah.
some of the other characters were like, Stan could be a Death Eater, Harry, and Harry was like, no, he would not be a Death Eater. He's just a guy that helped him in his time of need. I didn't like the talking heads.
See,
Not
that's
the
where I
band-
disagree. I love the talking heads.
Not the
I
band
love
talking
them.
heads, just
They're
these talking
great.
heads.
Take it away, Annie.
Take it away, Anne.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
And then like they come back
Yeah.
in the
Great stuff.
whose idea was that? Like,
I don't know. They deserve a raise.
Why the long face?
but it did add into
Mind your
what I
head.
said. It did add into what I said, David, before you came on, which is I've decided that Prisoner of Azkaban is the pinnacle spooky Harry Potter film.
Spooky?
Yeah,
Yes.
like Halloweeny vibes and stuff. Not like scary spooky, but like
Okay. Okay.
the
Yeah,
Death Eaters.
no, I'm with you.
I mean, if you have
Yeah.
to go some,
We're
but
not
yeah,
going
I
to agree on anything in this podcast, David and Spencer.
I was about to say, I was just
pitting
like, are
against
we
each other
really
the
going to
entire
disagree on every single thing?
I know David just walked in. Just he's
He
opening it
operated
up
in
late, and
on
he's going, I'm going to disagree.
Well,
with whatever
okay.
this-
Anybody who's been on this journey for us for the last almost 5 years
something
of the
like
show,
I know.
they know that Spencer and I, we will always disagree. That's like
On
a
things.
constant on this show.
But they
We
still
agree
love
on
each
things
other.
too, though.
No, I agree with this. I think this is probably the most Halloween spooky
It's not scary.
one.
I feel
It's not
like
scary. Yeah.
I
Not
feel
the
like
same.
Chamber of
Half-Blood
Secrets
Prince
used
could-
to freak me out when I
Sorry,
was
Cole.
younger.
I feel like Half-Blood Prince could go under the spooky category just a little bit, but
Just the cave sequence, though.
yeah,
It's not. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's Half Blood Prince is just a very dark movie,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
both
gray.
color palette wise and just mood wise.
See, cool.
It's
See, David
very-
and I agree on some things, listeners.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Harry Potter. Proceeds to say some hot take. That was what David and I did like the whole first year. Listen, guys, I love Harry Potter, but
Me when I read fan fiction, guys. I love Harry Potter.
you don't
Can't
have
get
to
me
love
in this
the-
Potterotica.
you don't have to. Tom, this is part of the spooky vibes. They had to recast Tom the innkeeper to being this like bald guy with a weird laugh.
Was he the guy who said, "Oh, bless my soul, it's Harry Potter" in the first one?
Yes.
Was that him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aw, dang it.
Yeah.
It was great. This one just kind of was weirding me out a little bit.
Yeah, he's
but-
got to be
Oh,
Igor
thanks.
from Frankenstein, from Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Igor,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Wasn't your hump on the other shoulder? What hump?
I always think the housekeeping. Dun, dun, dun. I'll come back later.
See,
Always
like,
make me laugh.
I feel like
Yeah.
Alfonso's just like, let's just do this
That'd be great.
like all the time. I love Lupin. That's my main
good.
note for a lot of things. But
Yes.
one of the quotes that I took from this watch was being afraid of like Dementors. He's like, that would suggest your fear is fear itself, which is very wise.
Mhm. And the way that
I think-
David Lewis says it is so
Mhm.
so amazing.
Yeah, I think he really carries this film in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
For me, I mean Gary too, but Gary Oldman's not
He's
in
barely
it the
in
whole
it.
time. Yeah,
This character and actress does not carry this, but I would also just like to point out that Emma Thompson is just really good, and she does
Yes.
a great Sybil Trelawney.
it's such a small role, and she does. They got such a big actress to do it, and she does so well.
Knocked it out of the park.
She's a popular fan cast to play McGonagall in the reboot.
She does a
and,
good Nanny McPhee.
See,
Could you
Cole and I
ima-
didn't
could
do
you
it just
imagine?
because she had already done it.
No,
know?
it would be weird to have her go back and do
Mhm.
McGonagall.
I mean,
It
she
would
would be
be.
unrecognizable.
Yeah, she'd be completely different in this one. I think if anyone could pull it off, it would be her character because Trelawney was just so different.
Hmm.
Watch, they bring in Umbridge to do it.
Okay, but
Oh,
Imelda
I
Staunton's a
like-
good actress too, though.
Drive me crazy.
You wouldn't be able to get past it just because of who Umbridge is,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm.
but she's a fantastic actress.
They should bring me to do Umbridge.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get some
Casting-
get some POC in there. Get some. I would be a DEI hire. I'm just
Maybe it's
kidding.
because I
think
just
about
watched
that
Fall
person.
Guy, but Emily Blunt would be a good McGonagall too.
I love it.
Mm.
Mm.
But I like who we had better, which is what's her face from many things, but Secret Invasion.
They should
Oh,
just. I'm gonna
Olivia
be.
Cook.
Yeah, Olivia Cook is still the best choice, I think.
I'm just
Anyway.
gonna be on the record. Just if you're gonna get
Coleman.
Jude Law
It
in
was
on
Olivia
this,
Colman. Yeah,
get
There-
Fiona Glasscott to come back as well. If we're just gonna do this right and get Jude Law in there, get Fiona back in here too. Come on.
Well, since we're on the topic, Gary Oldman and Cole sent this to us. I think
Yes.
Gary Oldman was just asked about the reboot, and he said, I wouldn't come back as serious, but I would play
Oh.
Dumbledore."
I'd love. He's
He
the
just
only
full
one.
on, he just full on threw it out there too. Like that was
I
scary.
love that.
And you can
But I
just
love
hear
the
it
fact
in
that
his
he
voice.
loves. He
I
loves
feel
this
like you
enough.
could, I haven't seen the video clip, but I can see Gary like, I'll just play Dumbledore.
Yeah.
What if I did this? What if I just
a
dick
wide
him?
range of characters, so I feel like he could do a Dumbledore.
He could play a garbage can, and I would go watch it.
Oscar the Grouch. I'd go watch it.
Oscar the Grouch origin story.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Any other things of
right.
note that you all really enjoyed?
I think
Movie?
while I'm really defending this movie, and it's just because I enjoyed it so much. I think this is also includes the best Quidditch match in the movie series, not in the
Yeah,
books.
the one where Harry falls off the broom. Arresto moment.
They pull out all the stops.
So
So when he's in the rain and there's a they show that really small shot of him and the giant cloud of the Grim. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
It's like so cinematic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The Dementors. It's just the best Quidditch match in film, period. It's gonna be hard to be topped by anything the reboot can put together. Also, now I want a Quidditch sweater pretty badly.
Mhm.
The Gryffindor uniforms specifically go really hard.
Steak
The
sauce.
costume department did fantastic work. I mean, the Hufflepuffs probably look good too, but we didn't really get a good look at those.
Mm-mm. The costume department understood the assignment.
They understood the assignment. Yep, absolutely.
I also like this movie's really good as a whole, but once you put the time turner sequence in,
Yeah, it's good before you even get to that sequence.
it's so good before you get to that scene. But then you get there, and then just even
It's just a fun adventure.
so good.
It's almost like a it's not like a separate movie, but it almost feels that way. Just because,
Part of that is
it's its own thing and it carries so much of the film and that back half.
Yeah.
That it's just like, wow, I'm getting two movies in one. Like, this is awesome.
Part of that is, I mean, this is the only one not centered around Voldemort in any capacity. He doesn't even show up in this movie. That's the only one he doesn't show up in. So I feel like that may play a part into why it feels kind of separated.
That's true.
And I think we kind of, especially people like us that have read them and watched them so many times, the Voldemort narrative can be a little exhausting when it's over and over again. And so this is kind of that break in that narrative to do a side story, which still fits within what's going on. I mean, they do mention Voldemort a couple times. The servant shall be reunited with his master. Still boosts the narrative, but it doesn't play the same role.
So many important things for future books and movies.
Yeah, it doesn't, but it doesn't like sit in the Horcrux part of the storyline or any of that.
No.
You don't spend a lot of time hearing about what happened in the past in previous books. No.
Well, we're in the movies, so they don't.
The movies
Pause. Let's pause and summarize the previous.
That'd be funny. Recap.
Previously
Last
on Harry
time
Potter.
on Harry Potter. Yeah.
3 years ago on Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. Just kidding. Ron not defending Hermione in front of Snape kind of made my blood boil because we just read the books, and so I was kind of expecting it, but I also knew it wasn't coming. When Hermione speaks out of turn and Snape just lets her have it for being an insufferable know-it-all. And in the book, it's like Ron who called Hermione an insufferable know-it-all at least 3 times a week. Just like I had it. He goes, "You asked her a question and she answered it. If you didn't want to know the answer, why'd you ask at all?" And then he gets like detention for like a month or whatever. But I see that as an early like seed of Hermiron. I don't know what their couple name is. There's no good
Hermione.
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 Yeah.
It's
But
like
instead it's just a in the movie it's just a punchline.
Hermione is better. No, I'm kidding.
Turn to page
What did you just say?
394.
I also say this. One of the things that they couldn't do this. It's just one of the unfortunate things when you do from book to movie is I felt like the book had some great Lupin Snape moments.
Yeah, it only has a couple in the movie.
It only has a couple in the movie. That's one of the things that I know that it's hard to fit those little moments in and those little conversations, but Lupin has so many other great scenes just talking about the past. To me, my favorite scene is probably when Lupin is talking about Lily and the impact that she had on him. But yeah, I just kind of wish that there was a little bit more Snape Lupin scenes in this one. But
but you know, they included stuff that I think other franchises would have taken out.
Yeah,
like
100%.
the part where Harry's looking for Pettigrew. I think
Mhm.
later, especially later Harry Potter films, would have just completely that out and just tried to write their way out of it. And they specifically decided to do it anyway.
Mhm.
Like it feels like a very book kind of scene, except Harry's being really dumb without his invisibility cloak. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he didn't have it in the books either.
No.
But like, Harry, come on now. I also love the end credits
Mhm.
for this one. They
Oh, fun.
they totally run with the Marauders map theme and everything,
Mhm.
and it's great.
Was there anything that you guys didn't like about this movie?
The
Minus
toads.
the shrunken
Just
head.
kidding.
The toads.
Love the toads. Very spooky.
I don't know. I like the film overall.
Yeah.
I don't have any. That was kind of my other thing. I was like, this might be the best one just because I have no notes, like no bad
No
notes.
bad- Yeah.
Mhm.
Almost
I-
done.
I did notice that when during the night bus scene, when his face plants up against the window, it's the same footage both times.
Listen,
Everybody's-
Dan Radcliffe can only hit a window so many times.
Yeah, you don't want to give him a concussion now.
I mean, I guess.
I just didn't like some of the small inconsistencies. I also felt like they kind of had a breakneck pace right at the beginning.
That's true.
I didn't notice it with the last couple movies, but Dursleys are in this for literally 3 minutes. Like I was looking at it and I was like, it's only been 4 minutes and Aunt Marge is blowing up already.
Mhm.
Bye bye.
Vernon,
But really, who wants
does
to spend a lot of
carry.
time with the Dursleys?
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah. Vernon does carry.
Don't make a sad face, Abby.
Few
They're
minutes that they
turds.
No, I'm saying like who wants to spend time with them? No.
Oh yeah.
I
No
don't.
one.
I think this is one of my least favorite Dursley moments in the movies. I don't like Aunt Marge.
Well,
But she
she's
blows
the
up.
worst.
Yeah,
That's the best part.
It is.
I
funny.
guess.
Also like Dudley getting hit with the button.
Yeah.
I mean, John Williams'
also-
music again seals the deal of that whole scene. But
It's also the first time that we get like a cuss word in this one.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
yeah.
oh yeah,
So it was, but yeah, I thought that
Harry
Vernon
says
dog.
the D word like 2 or 3
Nah, it's
times
not-
this movie.
it's not really a cuss word.
I know. That's not really a word. So
Like finally, like when Marge said it, I was just like, yes, finally. And HBO Max gonna be HBO Max gonna have a bunch of cuss words in it. Yeah.
it's a lot
I
of
can
mean
like
jokes
just
that
hear
I
it
could
in
make
her
about
accent
HBO
in my
Max
head.
poll that I won't.
Anyways. All right. What percentage can you
Mm.
guys give this film on
Oh.
faithfulness to the book?
Faithfulness percentage.
Okay,
What?
I gotta remember what we did for the other two. I
No,
do
we need to
remember.
write these down badly.
Yeah, I need to
writing
just
it
go
down.
ahead and
We
make
were
a
in the
graphic.
80s.
on
We
here.
were in the 80s for Sorcerer's Stone. It was like 85.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then
I
we
said
settled on
84.
like
90,
90
was it?
something. Was it 90?
Because
think
we knew,
91.
that we knew that this one was coming. That's why we just put it at a solid 90 because we knew this one was coming.
I don't think this is beating it though.
Mm-mm.
I don't think this beats. I think this maybe ties Sorcerer's Stone.
What
Mhm.
parts weren't faithful?
The
Well, the whole-
magic outside of
whole-
school.
When the firebolt came,
Yeah.
Firebolt came
right.
way late.
Your end.
Those are the main 2
Mhm.
things. Her and Ron not defending.
Yeah.
Hermione. That was really it though. They're pretty faithful.
but
This was
Chamber of
definitely a
Secrets, you're
faster
right, was
film, though.
more-
This
yeah,
one was closer
Chamber
to
of
2
Secrets-
hours.
Yeah.
I think it can't beat Chamber of Secrets.
Mm-mm. Chamber of Secrets
think
was
it-
like spot on faithful.
And we gave Sorcerer's Stone an 84. I don't feel like I can. I feel like Sorcerer's Stone has to be more faithful than this, right? Right?
Yeah. I would.
Yeah.
Maybe like an 82.
Yeah. Or just a flat tie, because I think it hit the
Yeah.
vibe. I think it got the narrative voice and the theme from the book
And this
more
is not
than the
us saying
first
it's
two
a
did.
bad movie. This is just
Oh.
us comparing it to the book. Still a great movie. We all agree.
I'm gonna
And they
go.
left out some. You said they left out some Lupin stuff, and they.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with 80.
80?
I'm going with 80.
Yeah.
I'm going 82.
I think I will stick at 82.
I'll stay in the middle and be 81.
80.
Sounds like an average of 81 to me. I'm
I
not
hate
a
that
math
number.
teacher, so
It's so
81.
bad. Terrible.
I'm gonna put 81. Thanks.
I thought I had it
Cole.
written down what our averages were.
Well, I just wrote it down. So, Sorcerer's Stone, I have 84%. Chamber of Secrets, we have 90. And Prisoner of Azkaban, we have Abby's favorite number, 81%.
It's terrible.
It's okay.
Oy.
Goblet of Fire is going to be like 2. Just kidding. I'm
What do you
thinking
guys-
it's going to be in the mid 40s or 50s.
Who do you think had the best acting performance in this film?
Lupin.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Gary Oldman.
That's
I
more
mean,
than fair.
the whole I've done my waiting, 13
12
years of
years
it or 12 years of it, like
Let's give
phenomenal.
For me, it's the scene after that when he's talking with Harry about
That's a
providing
good
him
one
a
too.
home and stuff. I
Yeah.
think he somehow hits both tones perfectly.
Yes, absolutely.
Gary Oldman plays the crazy, and then also like when you see him again in in
Order.
Order of the
Order-
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Feels like two different Siriuses, but I
Yeah.
like them both. So
Because the other Sirius is fed.
fair and clean.
groomed.
He's
Yeah,
eating the
groomed.
meal.
Being groomed.
Also, serious writing on top of the hippogriff. Sorry, Buckbeak. Can I say Buckbeak is my favorite performance? Just kidding. But serious writing, Buckbeak really made me feel like, oh, this is young Sirius. Like this is what he was like when James knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they did the firebolt out of order, but the showing the feather and nothing else was a really fun way of doing that.
Cole, did we get yours? Who's best acting performance?
Draco for the over exaggerated. Oh, I'm injured.
He's killed me.
He's gonna kill me. If it hadn't come in another minute, I would have lost my arm.
Wild. I don't know. I'm really torn. There's so many good. They're all smaller parts because you get little bits of them, but like Lupin and Sirius. So like David and Gary and then Emma Thompson all just do great jobs.
It's true. Emma Thompson should get some cred here. I think Peter Pettigrew is perfect at playing a weird little rat man.
And then
Good
he did it
casting.
again in Enchanted.
Yeah, he quite literally went like
Yeah.
that. Scared me as a child.
Yeah, it was really creepy seeing him like turn back into the rat.
I don't think he should win this, but Michael Gambon did a good job. I really think he did. I think he hit the whimsical Dumbledore. He doesn't do so well in the next one. But rest in peace. Also, I think I guess we can start comparing directors too,
Mm-hmm.
because I think Alfonso's number one right now, and he
I
might
feel
be
like
number one for the rest of them.
he did a
Abby, you
great
could talk
job
about
with-
him more.
Yeah, I feel like he did a great job understanding the tone of the book and translating that into film, and just the cinematography is really good. I feel like it fits with where we are in the kids' storyline. I still go back to Chris Columbus, though. Like, he really had that fun, childlike vision for getting introduced to the Wizarding World. And I think he did a great job with the child actors. And I think
I
he
mean,
gets good
Harry's
credit for
Wondrous
that, too.
World.
Yeah.
The track, like I feel like that track was almost named by Chris Columbus.
Right.
That being said, Alfonso did, listeners, you might not know this, he pretty much established the rest of the series.
Mhm.
Like he actually, because before that we didn't really have a consistent look for Hogwarts. We didn't have a consistent look for the grounds. We didn't have the lake, the Forbidden Forest. We didn't have that all built out. It was all, Hagrid's hut was in this place in Sorcerer's Stone, and then it was kind of not really in the same place in Chamber of Secrets. So it's new in this one, but it also is consistently what they used for the most part, with small changes in the rest of the series. And so I think he did some seriously valuable work and kind of not save the franchise, but he kind of made it what it was. He made the series.
Mhm.
Brought the series some much needed consistency.
Favorite scene? Mine's got to be the big Expecto Patronum scene, like post Time Turner.
When you have a baby trying to sleep and Daniel Radcliffe's like, Expecto Patronum. I'm like, trying to turn down the volume. It's like, Dan, shut up. The child's trying to sleep.
It sounded like you didn't say Dan. Sounds like you said something else.
Well, that's not really a cuss word, David.
Not really.
No, you're right.
That's not really a cuss word.
That's not really a cuss word.
Cole, what do you got?
That or the
Definitely
scene
the,
with Lupin and Harry on the bridge.
Yes, Lupin.
Mhm.
Harry on the bridge. Mine's the learning the spell ridiculous.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy that.
The music in that scene,
Yes.
really good too.
Yes.
Not from John Williams.
No,
Still a great song
really
choice.
good. I think it was
Alan Rickman in. I gotta find that. I need to see that behind the scenes. I'm sure it exists somewhere. I gotta see it.
I'm
He must
with
have had fun.
I'm with Abby. I think that scene on the bridge is probably my favorite.
Okay. My brain wants to say the Quidditch scene. I just really liked it. But my real favorite scene is Harry learning Expecto Patronum for the first time in Dumbledore's office with Lupin and the Boggart.
Yep.
Yeah.
That scene really does it for me. The music and everything else with it too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great Lupin scene. It's a great Harry scene.
Yeah. Speaking of Lupin, favorite character?
Lupin.
Lupin again.
I'm gonna go with Sirius. I just really love Sirius Black, even though we don't get a lot of him.
I think when we get
impact
to Order of the Phoenix,
right
that's
there.
where Sirius is going to be like my.
No, Order of the Phoenix. We all better say Umbridge. We all better say it. Spencer
not.
needs to write a poem to
I
her.
don't even know.
That's how much I want
Chat
him
GPT.
to love her. Yeah,
Like,
just
I don't
use
know if I can.
GPT.
I think I even watch it. I'm gonna have to. But
You're gonna have to watch it.
who's my favorite character going to be in that?
Maybe Luna.
Yeah, that is who it's going to be. It's going to be Luna, Sirius, or Cred.
Cred.
Nope, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those two, I guess, because I can't remember the third one.
I do have the video. If you guys are ready to see this,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that before
I'm
our
not sure.
ranking.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the sound quality, but
we'll see how it goes.
Hated the first Dumbledore. Richard Harris.
I also hated the first Dumbledore.
What?
Well, okay. I
He
did
was
not hate
so
the first
old.
Dumbledore. I liked the second one much better.
I like the
Yeah.
first one way better. Richard Harris did such a better job of being like very like whimsical and kind of quirky. And
yeah,
I
but
don't
I
think
can't imagine that guy fighting Voldemort.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I-
he doesn't have the flair. And that was like the whole big thing about Dumbledore in the end was he has flair and style and like
Like that duel in book 5 makes so much more sense under Mike. Is it Michael Gambon?
I'm gonna need the comments to support me in
No.
liking Richard Harris more.
Richard Harris, he's very. Joel likes Richard Harris more.
Joel,
He's just- he is. I think they should have cast him as Professor Binns, the ghost. That
okay, yeah,
teaches
they left him out
history.
too. Why
When
did they
did he
leave him out?
change? Sorry, I
So
never knew there was
first
two
two
Dumbledores.
movies. First two movies is the old Dumbledore.
You started watching the third movie. You said that's the same guy.
I did. I'm just not looking it up. I'm like, wait, there was
Same guy,
completely
this actor's
different.
So good.
I mean, they both had long white beards.
It's actually, yeah, it's like the takes are both directions. But thinking they're different people. Richard Harris as Binns is too low of blow for me. I'll not allow that.
That's where I thought that. That's where
but I
thought you-
also don't think. I've said this before. I don't think either of them are the perfect Dumbledore either.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Although
think
I would have
Harris.
loved to see Richard Harris fight Voldemort.
I
I
don't
would've
know.
loved to see-
I kind of agree with the argument that I don't know if it would have. It would have been like Alec
Guinness
Translated.
fighting
But I
Darth
wanna
Vader.
I don't know if it would have.
Worse.
But
Could
I'm
be worse
curious
than that.
to know what it
Could
would
be.
have been like. Maybe it could have been great. Who knows? I don't think it would have.
Also, I still love that fight versus Darth Vader, even though it's.
We get much
I mean,
better.
Sir
lightsabers
Alec
than
Guinness is
Darth
just
Vader.
great.
He's great. I love him. But that fighting scene was god.
He would have been a great Dumbledore. I know he was gone probably before these books were even written.
way before.
But and he would have hated it.
Yeah.
But Harris didn't.
He
I don't
already
think
played a space
Richard
wizard
Harris.
before.
I don't think Richard Harris was whimsical.
Mm-mm.
I think he was more just old.
Did you guys know
He was
that he had
whimsical.
a musical
He was-
career?
Cheery,
He was cheery, yes,
I did
but I
not.
wouldn't
Cheery.
call him whimsical.
not whimsical.
And Michael Gambon.
Michael Gambon.
I'm now
Epic.
imagining Dumbledore, after you said that, Cole, Dumbledore kind of like Merlin from The Sword and the Stone.
Yeah.
Michael Gambon is more whimsical off screen than he is on screen. Like, this is the movie where he had the farting machine and Harry Potter's and Daniel Radcliffe's in my sleeping bag. And so and Michael Gambon just keeps going through all the lines of the scene, and he keeps pushing the button of the fart noises, and Alan Rickman just cannot keep it together. Really good.
Listen,
stuff.
regardless, Cole can have his grandfather as his Dumbledore. Spencer can have Michael Gambon as his Dumbledore, but Jude Law will forever be my Dumbledore.
Has Jude Law been whimsical yet? I think he needs to. I think he has to be post Grindelwald to be happy. Again.
Yeah, I think he can.
I think
be,
he's just not. Yeah, I
but
think he's just not there.
yet. Now he's very
I
funny
can see
still. at
Jude
this
Law
point.
fighting it
He's
out
still
with
got the
Voldemort.
wit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be epic.
They're not. See, David, I'm hopeful as you are, but I don't think.
Oh,
the movie's
I know
gonna
it's not
bring
going to
him
happen.
back.
Not until we
Yeah.
buy the company.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's
gonna
gonna. I mean,
It's going to
if
happen.
Warner Brothers goes downhill any farther, I'll be able to afford it with half a paycheck.
Mm.
The money you make off your house.
Like, hey, we all
Yeah.
go in on it. We buy it. Make it happen.
It's a good investment. Right?
Yeah. Anyway, rankings time.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I've always admitted that Prisoner of Azkaban is at the top of every list of mine related to Harry Potter.
Yes.
No, for me, but it's the top of these first three for sure.
Yeah, for right now.
Well,
Yeah.
it definitely goes for me at this juncture. Prisoner of Azkaban, Chamber of Secrets, Philosopher's Stone.
I think distance might be making my heart grow fonder of Sorcerer's Stone. I think I'm gonna flip it. I always flip those two though. Those first two, I flip them a lot.
Mhm.
So I think right at this juncture, I'm Prisoner of Azkaban, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets. But
That's where
I
sit
like
right
all. But I like all three of them more this time than I have before.
Yeah, I
I
think
I knew Abby was gonna say Sorcerer's Stone somewhere.
Yeah, I think mine's is Prisoner Azkaban, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber.
I still just
And
The
those
Chamber of
rankings are
Secrets
not going to change
movie-
next week. Sorry, Abby.
I don't know.
Goblet is
I
not
like-
beating any of these.
I think I would prefer, personally, I think I would prefer to watch Goblet of Fire over Chamber of Secrets. Like, if you sat me down, you're like, which movie would you rather watch?
I think my biggest hope for the reboot is Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
I think they both frustrate me to different levels. Goblet of Fire is at least fun.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban?
Oh, I have one.
All right.
John Williams' best score is The Phantom Menace, hands down.
Okay. Anakin's theme, killer. One
Yeah,
of my
I
top
said you could pull
favorite.
up. I did not
Core.
say. I said there's specific themes of John Williams, but not as for a start to finish score.
Tying in the
It's my
Darth
favorite.
Vader theme into the end of Anakin's theme.
I just had to say that. I just had to say that before we got struck with
I
lightning.
always have hot
Then
takes about
take
Star
it.
Wars, though, David. I mean, I'm not as bad as
He
Tim.
does. His
I'm not as
favorite
bad as
movie
Tim.
is Attack of the Clones.
That is not true. Not
Yeah, I
even
know. I'm
close.
just kidding. It's the Christmas special, holiday special.
My favorite's
Correct.
Phantom Menace.
Only actually, it's the
Yeah.
Christmas special, but just the animated scene.
Oh no! Oh no!
The one with Boba
And
Fett. Just
With
randomly
that,
I'm a good Star Wars fan. It's Return of the Jedi. My favorite theme is Rey's theme,
It's a good theme.
it's a good thing.
Mhm.
which is
Same.
I'm gonna get a bunch of hate for that from someone,
No.
but get over it. And Emma
He's a
Watson's a
Skywalker,
good
get over
actor. Washington Sentinel.
Watch you stand up. Come at
Come
us.
at me, bro.
And with that, thank you all for watching/listening to our show. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to us, and even on more where you aren't listening to us. If you're watching on YouTube or you connect with our Instagram page, make sure to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you agree, disagree, you're not allowed to disagree with our take on this movie, though, because it's really good. And if you disagree, you're wrong.
Wrong.
Again, Instagram, hpotter_fanatics. If you want to look for more shows from us, we have the Gazebo Effect Network. So feel free to check out Fandom Done Right, the Star Wars Historians, and is it Double Take? David?
Double Take's
Well,
not part of the Gazebo
Double
Effect
Take's
Network.
not part of
Oh, it's
Gazebo
separate?
Effect. Yeah,
Maybe.
it's a separate. It's a
I'm not
separate-
counting your Hunger Games one.
You should. That's the one. That's the fourth one.
I
It
would
should have been
rather
Gale,
put Double
a
Take
Hunger Games
in
podcast.
instead of that podcast.
Yeah, no, Double
Great
Take's a
podcast.
different.
It was very
different
fun.
thing. Yeah.
Well, still listen to David's separate podcast. Double Take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to hear my hottest
Yeah.
take ever, my wife and I did a 3-4 episode podcast miniseries
I'm
about
still upset I
Hunger
couldn't
Games.
join for that last episode. I didn't listen to it because I was upset that I couldn't be on it, and I knew I would disagree with everything you
The
guys were
title,
saying,
the
so I
title of it made my wife mad.
didn't-
I just want that to be on air on the YouTube. that just the title.
It should have been Gale, a Hunger
Just
Games
terrible.
podcast. And
Just
in the
made her
graphic it
so
says,
upset.
why? Because it should have been Gale.
No.
My wife and I had so much fun, guys. It's if you're a Gale believer, it's a great place to
It's
listen
your
to.
it's
If
your
you want your
podcast.
blood, and if you want your blood to boil, if you really disagree with us, it will also be fun. Cole, our Catching Fire episode was hilarious, if nothing else.
See, it's kind of like the Bunty fans. Like for all 17 of you out there, this is your it's your
There's
podcast.
a lot of Gale
on
fans
Gale.
out there.
Whatever.
We have
Um,
an alliance.
well, next time we're coming up with the Yearly Prophet. And so
Yep.
we'll have fun things to talk about for that. And then sometime soon, we're going to do our fan casting of Goblet of
That'll
Fire.
be part of the yearly
Part
prophet
Yearly
episode.
Prophet.
Sounds good. And then we'll continue with our rewatch series. So keep up with us on all things Harry Potter. But until then, mischief managed.